Hello everyone, this is Aaron Johnson of the Johnson iRacing team, bringing you our weekly update for week number 7 of season 4 of the 2020 iRacing season. I'll give you sort of a rundown on what we managed to do this week, each of the 3 team members, and give you an idea of where we're standing in the respective series as I usually do. We're going to start out by talking about Jacob Johnson. Jake had a really good week. He got his I rating back up over 1350 to 1362, and that is in large part because this week Jake started 7 races. He had a win and 2 top 5s, and probably more importantly, even his very worst finishes were not terrible. I think he had 1/12th, but other than that, he was mostly inside the top 6 or 8. So Jake had a really good week. And you can see here by taking a look at his I rating graph that he is back on the upswing. So how's he doing? Well, he's not racing super hard in the Street Stock Series right now. He did run several races at USA International this week. This week we were in Florida for the Street Stock Series, and where at this point in time Jake sits 650th out of 13,606 drivers who have attempted at least one points-paying race. That puts Jake in the top 5% of all people that have attempted to race in the Fanatec Rookie Street Stock Series this season, so he's doing very well. He has 16 starts, only has 1 win, 3 top 5s, and 2 poles. Average start and finish of 11 or 12th is, that's average is about 9th, so it's a little bit below average, but that's kind of misleading because Jake, when he runs well, runs very, very well. He's got 260 championship points, and this is despite missing 1 of the 7 weeks. So counting only 6 of the 7 weeks, Jake's still doing just fine. The Legends Car Series is where Jake tends to be focusing most of his energy right now. And if we look at the Legends Car Series, iRacing breaks you down into divisions based on your point total, your iRating point total. At the beginning of the season, Jake ended up in Division 4 of 10 divisions. The lower the number, the higher the division. So Jake ended up in Division 4. At that point, we knew he was going to be in with some really good racers. Right now, after 7 weeks, Jake is 33rd of about 950 people in his division, so top 3%, top 4% maybe. He has been doing really, really well here, and he's a week short. So in 6 weeks, he's managed to work his way up into 33rd position. He's averaging not quite 70 points a week, so if he had been able to run all 7 weeks, you could speculate that he'd probably be inside the top 25. In the overall series, Jake is 188th out of 10,941 drivers that have attempted at least one points-paying race in the Advanced Legends Cup. That puts Jake inside the top 0.6%, or sorry, in the top 2% of the Legends Cup right now. So Jake's doing really well. He's got 30 starts, 7 wins, 12 top 5s, and 7 poles. So his top 5 percentage is exactly 40%, and he's got 417 total points. So Jake doing very, very well right now in the Advanced Legends Cup. Joe Johnson, that's my younger brother, raised his I rating up to 1958, and you can see his progression has been pretty steady. He jumped up, then dropped down a little bit, but since that sort of low point about September 1st, he's really come on and is working on getting to that 2,000 point plateau. Joe ran 3 races this week. He had 3 top 5s, no wins and no poles, but his top 5 percentage was 100%. And as I've said more than once, and I'll continue to say, in iRacing, top 5 is the yardstick. You finish in the top 5, it's a good race. This week he didn't race at all in the Street Stock Series. I think probably a combination of work and the focus on the Legends Car Series right now, Joe is just going to run in the Street Stock Series. So that dropped him down to 1,445th out of 13,606 drivers that have attempted at least one points-paying race in the Fanatec Street Stock Series. That means that Joe's in the top 11% or so, still doing fairly well, and especially for having missed a couple of weeks. So if he decides to jump back into the series, iRacing is going to drop your 3 lowest weeks. 2 of his weeks that it would be dropped would be zeros. Where Joe's really making his mark, though, that is in the Advanced Legends Cup in the iRacing Series here. Joe is in Division 5, and in Division 5 right now, he sits in 2nd place, 19 points ahead of the 3rd place competitor, and about 150 points behind Chris Wold. Joe has 34 starts, 2 wins, 18 top 5s, and 3 poles, so his top 5 percentage not quite 60%. but a little over 50%, about 53% or thereabouts. So Joe doing really, really well here, and continues to move up in the iRacing pantheon of drivers, if you will. If you look at his overall standing, he is 62 out of 10,941 drivers that have attempted a race. That puts Joe in the top 0.6%. So if we take 1,000 drivers, Joe's going to be ranked in the top 6 somewhere. So he's had a very good season there. And I think the key to this season, we can see it right here, that's the 18 top 5s. When you can finish in the top 5 half the time in iRacing, you're going to do really, really well. The third driver, Aaron Johnson, that's me. I actually had a really good week. I got my iRating back up over 2,400. My peak ever was just a little over 2,500. So I'm approaching the highest iRating I've ever had. As you can see, I had a couple of troughs here working on rural Colorado internet where I kept getting disconnected from races. And when you get disconnected, you get last or whatever position you were in. So I really struggled there, but I've come back up. This week I ran 8 races. I had 0 wins, but I did have 5 top 5s. And I also had no poles. So I ran really well in the Advanced Legends Cup and in the Fanatec Street Stock Series, where I'm racing both series. Seriously, I'm trying to do very well in both those series. And in the Street Stock Series, I'm frankly doing better than I thought that I had an opportunity to do right now. I'm 23rd out of 13,606 drivers that have attempted at least one points-paying race. That puts me inside the top 0.2%. That means if you take 1,000 drivers, I'm probably going to be ranked first or second of that 1,000 driver sample. I've got 28 starts, 1 win, 8 top 5s, and 1 pole. The big thing here is that my recent performance has been much better in the Street Stock Series after really struggling at Charlotte a couple of weeks back. So seem to be doing really well there. In the Legends Cup, right now I'm in Division 9, where I lead that division by about 300 points, just a little over. Partly that's because when the season started, I'd had some iRating issues again because of the computer problems that I'd had. So my point total, frankly, was artificially low. I probably should have been closer to the Group 5 or Group 4 like Joe and Jake are, but I'll take it. It's still going to be running up front here. This gap can close some as the low weeks are dropped off. And keep in mind here, Jody Kelting has only run 5 weeks, so Jody's numbers are going to come up as well. So I think one of the things we'll see here is some of these competitors coming up, but I am ranked first out of 255. In the overall series, I stand 42nd out of 10,941 drivers that have attempted at least one points-paying race. That puts me in the top 0.4%, or 4 of the top 1,000 there. And what you see here is I've had some pretty good consistency. I've got 44 starts, 12 wins, 25 top 5s, and 11 poles. So my top 5 percentage is right around 60%. And that's a pretty good top 5 percentage. That's going to keep you running up front and scoring well in the points. My average start and finish are both 5th, so the average start and finish looks pretty good as well. So I'm pretty pleased with that. I'm pretty pleased with what I'm seeing here in terms of the performance. My iRating comes up. Joe's iRating's coming up. Jake's iRating's coming up. We're all moving up. All of us now inside the top 200 in the Advanced Legends Cup. And our big goal here, I think, is going to be to try now to get everybody inside the top 150 and to see if Joe and I can both jump inside the top 50. It would be fantastic to have 2 of our team members inside the top 50 drivers in the iRacing Advanced Legends Cup Series. For the Johnson iRacing team, that's Aaron Johnson saying, go fast, turn left, have fun.